Hi, this is Bill Farmer, the voice of Goofy, and
Awesome Paul here with the Blake and Sal Show. Stay tuned.
This is Tad Stones.
Hello, this is Jim Cummings. I'm calling to say hello to my close personal friends Blake and Sal.
This is Eva Leaf, a.k.a. the baddest bitch in the building.
Hi, this is Kevin Eastman, co-creator of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Well, of course we are. It's the Blake and Sal Show. And don't forget to remember to tune in and watch it with your ears.
Pretty cool.
Stay tuned or you might get DQ'd.
And you are listening to the Blake and Sal Show, the most dangerous podcast on the internet.
Far out!
And I'm not even supposed to be here today.
And you are listening to the Blake and Sal Show, of course.
Unfortunately, Sal wasn't here when I recorded this. So, Blake, you're the best.
Gorge.
Blake, without Sal, is like the turkey without the stuffing, and you can't break tradition.
A high dive into a drink. Some people want to watch the world swirl into the sink. Why would you argue? Is the glass half full? It's a mess. I drank the first half. You can drink the rest. Hey! One foot on the pedal, one hand on the wheel. Don't know where I'm headed, but it starts right here. Everywhere I go is home. Every town and every road. Every song I've ever known carried in my bones. I feel like a lightning strike every time I rock the mic. You can join me if you like. I'll go on my own. I'm looking up. I'm looking up. All the way up. I'm looking up. All the way up.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Blake and Sal Show. I'm Blake. We're doing something a little special today. It is Thursday morning instead of Friday morning. This is going to be episode 183. Sal is in here because this is a kind of an impromptu decision made by me and Dave, the boss, just a little while ago. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to go through after all the intro stuff's done and player commercials. Then I'm going to get into me sitting down with Jeff O'Connor from Devil's Daily. Now, this is originally supposed to be part of Friday's show. This conversation went close to an hour. So instead of making Friday's show extremely long, we're going to make this show an hour and then tomorrow's show another hour and a half. So, that being said, tomorrow will be episode 184, despite me saying 183 in the intro. So, sit back and enjoy my conversation with Jeff O'Connor right after the break.
Hi everyone, it's Mandy, and when I'm not playing Mrs. Blake, or Dean Ambrose's biggest fan, or, spoiler alert, Olga, I can be found on mkemomsblog.com. There are 30 amazing women in the Milwaukee area who make up the MKE Moms blog team, and we're all passionate about giving back to the community, about life, and loving our families. You can find us over on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, or at mkemomsblog.com. Please check it out and support us. Thanks.
You believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable!
The championship to New Jersey. The Devils win the Stanley Cup.
There once was a referee born in Rockford. He refed such a terrible game.
This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
We have the heart of a champion. You cannot measure it. You can only feel it.
And when everyone says it can't be done, ducks fly again.
I see pride. I see power. I see a badass mother who don't take no crap of nobody.
Cold. Very cold. The only tough part when it's cold is loading up the bus.
Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Devils win it, OT!
I think you're going to want to hear this.
All right, continuing with the Devils conversation, I have a very special guest here who has been trying to get on for the last month. It is from Devils Daily, Jeff O'Connor. Jeff, how you doing?
Blake, I'm good, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. Any chance I get to talk a little Devils hockey is good enough for me.
There's not enough of it, right? So we need to do it. If we have to do it, we'll do it. Around the clock, 24/7, wherever we can. So let's do it, man.
Yeah, but I'll bring this up to you. Where did the idea of doing a daily Devils radio show come from? Because I love it personally.
So I know you used to live in the Jersey area, and it's tough to get Devils chatter anywhere. And if everyone remembers back to the 2012 conference finals when it was Rangers Devils. You actually turned on WFAN, which is the big sport, for those who don't know, the big sports station in town, the number one sports talk radio station in the country. And around the clock, 7 a.m., 11 a.m., 4 p.m., there was Devils Rangers talk. Yeah, a lot of it is because the Rangers were in it, but people were talking about Devils players. They were interviewing Devils players. So the idea in my mind came in, literally about just over 5 years ago, and we did some podcasts here and there, and then we saw this this online platform. It's called Blog Talk Radio, where you could actually host shows, you could take live call-ins. So we wanted to do a show that people could legitimately. We try and go as many as we can. We shoot for Monday to Thursday, Monday to Friday. We normally go around 9 a.m. Eastern time, and we said, you know what? Let's do this, because it was right in the middle of the rebuild. We did it right after the 15-16 season when they had such a good yeme. And in the first year of Ray Shiro being the GM, John Hines, the new head coach, and we said, you know what, we have been putting it off. We had talked about it for so long. Me and my co-host Dave Turner, we thought about it for so long. We said, you know what, F it, let's just do it. Let's try it. Let's do it. We started off slow, but then we picked up some steam, and everybody's been into it. We've gotten great feedback. We've gotten to do some stuff with the Devils. We've gotten to interview Patrick Elias on some other platforms. So, things have really taken off from there. We just wanted to provide a spot where everyone should have the opportunity, if they want to listen to it every day, if they want to listen to it, twice a week or once a month, everyone should have the opportunity to listen to Devils hockey talk, because there's just not enough of it around. So we wanted to do it, and here we are. We're rocking and rolling.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. Matter of fact, occasionally I do jump onto the fan because it's on the radio.com app out here. I can't jump onto the fan once in a while. It's just, there's not enough hockey talk in general. It's a general statement. I don't even just Devils hockey. Just hockey talk in general is limited out there.
It is, yeah. You really can't find it anywhere. It's kind of annoying. And you know what? And not to rip on other places, but even, I have the Sirius XM package, and I'll put on the NHL Network radio, but sometimes they'll play... And, coming back from a commercial, they'll play 2 minutes of a song before they start talking hockey. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're the only place in the world to talk about hockey. I guess you could say literally the only place to do it 24/7. They're playing songs. They interview so many guests. They don't take enough phone calls. It's literally just hosts interviewing people. So I don't want to rip on them too much, because a lot of them seem like smart guys and they know what they're doing. But even on NHL Network Radio, I feel like you don't get enough hockey talk. It's more interviews about specific teams, and there's not enough fan interaction. So I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, so we on this show, we try to talk Devils hockey. We also, I'm a Predators fan because I live in Milwaukee. We have the Admirals, so Predators fan here. But back to the Devils, you guys started your show, and then we had last season. And last season was not fun. I'll openly admit that. It was rough to watch, rough to follow. What were you guys thinking? Like, you're doing this show, and the Devils were having probably the worst season they've ever had. Ever. And you guys have to talk about it last year.
Yeah. It was tough. So we had a lot of fun during the offseason where we were breaking down drafts and free agency and talking about training camp battles. And they started off 9-3-3, and we said, man, maybe we're gonna hit the ground running with the show, and the team's gonna hit the ground running. And then November and December happened. At one point, I believe if I have the stat right, right around Thanksgiving, they were in a playoff spot. Right before New Year's Eve, they were last in the Eastern Conference. So it was tough to watch. The defense, they traded Adam Larson. We thought maybe they could survive it because Corey Schneider, their goalie, has been so good. But Corey had an off year. They lost Larson. Not a lot of other guys stepped up to the forefront. And the goal scoring, even though they traded for Hall, there just wasn't ways to get them the puck. The neutral zone work wasn't as tight as it needs to be in order for a team to transition and play an offensive attacking style, which is what they were trying to do. So we understood what they were trying to do, but it was just discombobulated because they didn't have the horses, so to speak. And John Hines' system looked a little bit out of place because they just didn't have the players they need to run that type of system. You're seeing a little bit more of it this year, but yeah, to go back to last year, there was a disconnect between the defense and the forwards. There was often times where the forwards didn't help the defense enough, and then the defensemen couldn't get when defense did win the puck, they had trouble breaking out of their own zone to give the forwards the puck. So it was no surprise the Devils were in the bottom 5 in the league in goal scoring and goals against, whereas in 15-16, their defense was middle of the pack, which is how they had 84 points. So it's crazy the amount of difference it is. The Devils, even the last 2 years, haven't scored that many goals, but the fact that the defense was so much better in 15-16, they missed the playoffs by 9 points or something like that. So it just shows you if you have an improvement in some area of your game, it can make up some of those point totals. But yeah, last year was bad, and then I think mid-February to the end of the season, they won less than a handful of games. They lost so many games. They lost heartbreakers. They blew leads. They got torched in some games. There was so few competitive games down the stretch. Last season was just a total disaster. But people still listen to the show, so that was cool. We had a hardcore group of fans that no matter win or loss, they always listened. Obviously, when they win, our show numbers go up a little bit. But last year was rough to watch, and thankfully that's now clearly in the rearview mirror.
Clearly, as in we got to the summer, we got to the NHL draft, and I have to say, I was supposed to be at the draft, and I talked about this. I had ticket issues. I never even got to go into the draft, unfortunately. It's a whole story that I got into on a past show. But I missed the draft. I wasn't there. I'm in Milwaukee. I should have been there. I really should have been in the United Center to see it. And I'm listening to it on the radio, and I heard Nico Hischier. And my smile on my face when I heard that was so electric and happy. My best friend who was driving in the car looked at me like, is that a good thing? I'm like, you have no idea what just happened. This is such a big deal and such a crazy thing. And it led to one of my favorite clips on my soundboard now.
I love the hockey.
That we play excessively. One of our favorite things in the world. But
I think it's every Devils fan's favorite term. It's fantastic. He used hockey as a verb. Tremendous.
Who does that, Nico Hischier does. Exactly. So we lead to the season, and we're not even just talking about Nico. We have Will Butcher. We have the unexpected rise of Jesper Bratt. We have, of course, Henrique waking up and starting this season fantastic. For you, what's the biggest surprise for the start of this season?
Well, I guess it's got to be Jesper Bratt. I know his production has cooled off a little bit, but it's unbelievable. Essentially, those guys are leading the way. It's Butcher and Bratt, and Nico hasn't gotten that first goal yet. But the three guys playing their first few games have been more the guys who are leading the way, so to speak. So I guess you got to start with Butcher and Bratt. We thought Butcher, considering he was hunted by a few teams in the offseason, we figured he would be playing. So I guess it's not a surprise he's playing games, so to speak, but I guess the assist number is crazy. I just saw the stat before. He's the first player in the 100-year history of the NHL to have 9 assists in his first 6 games for a rookie defenseman. Yeah, I mean, just insane. And it feels, we were mentioning on the show today, it feels like every game that goes by that he puts up a point, there's another record or another crazy span that he's breaking. So he has been as well, but I think we knew he was going to get playing time, so I don't think he's a total shock, but the numbers are a little